All right, we're back. Guys, we're doing Cam Akers tonight. We're going to discuss his dynasty value. But first, let's get a baseline by going over some trades. So, Cam Akers or the 103?
103.
Agree.
Cam Akers or the 106?
Akers.
106.
Okay. All right. How about Cam Akers or a 23 first?
23 first.
Oh, come on.
We just have to say it. We have to get it out there.
Cam Akers or a 24 first.
Okay.
I'll go Akers there.
Well, I'm taking the pick. Well. Sucker.
Akers or Chase Claypool and the 206?
I'm taking Akers.
Yeah, I can see this appeal of both sides, but I would still go Akers. I'd shoot a little higher. If I could get the 201, 202, or I got a chance to maybe trade into the first and get something else, I would do it. But yeah, 206, no thanks.
Straight up, Cam Akers or DJ Moore?
I'm taking D'Jarius.
Oh, man. I love DJ Moore, but that is the kind of receiver that you could stomach paying for a running back. I think I'd still go DJ Moore, but if you said I have to pull from receivers in that range to get the running back anchor on my team, then I wouldn't hate it.
No, but Akers is your running back anchor? What do you don't
a
like
running
team?
Back anchor.
Are you mad at that
care.
team? Did that roster do something to you and you're upset with them?
Cam Akers, let's talk his dynasty value. Go ahead.
Let's just assume he's somewhere inside the top 15 running backs in Dynasty. It might say ADP says that he goes lower than Nick Chubb or Joe Mixon or Derrick Henry, but I don't necessarily know if that's going to be true. I mean, in some leagues, people may have him as RB8 because they don't want to draft a 26, 27-year-old running back. So I think they're all in the same mix. I do think that he probably offers one thing those guys don't is if he comes back from his Achilles injury and actually looks good. And even if he's RB10, RB12, his value will maintain, if not rise. He establishes that he's as good as Chubb and Mixon and Henry, like that he can produce in that range. People are just going to naturally value him higher because they figure, okay, he's back from his Achilles injury. He's only going to be 24 after this year, which means he's still going to stack up much more favorably against the 2023 running back class, where we can assume a lot of these guys that are year 5, year 6, year 7 they're already sliding down in value, but some of them may just completely faceplant off the landscape entirely. I can't understand investing at him actually higher than what his ADP, which was my first thought was going to be, okay, I don't really want to pay anything higher than his ADP, but if I'm in a range where I've built my roster, let's say I need a running back and it's round 6 of a startup and he happens to be on the board, I'm going to take him over waiting on Zeke or Aaron Jones. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay actually reaching and taking him. I'm not taking him at RB8. The devil's advocate is if he goes out and he's just decent, he's going to get smashed by every running back that's good next year, that's coming in next year. And he's still not going to catch all the guys that are ahead of him right now. Plus, he still has competition from like J.K. Dobbins, Travis Etienne. Like, those guys could pass him up if they're better than him. So there's a chance next year he's RB18 and he's still below some older guys. So it's just a roster construction thing. But I'm actually looking at this. Maybe I'm telling myself to buy in a little bit more on Akers than maybe I came into this video with.
Okay, so in terms of the backfield breakdown, Darrell Henderson.
My thoughts are Henderson's one of the best backups or one of the best handcuffs to have. Like, he's a decent player. You know, he's probably not a standalone starter, but like I certainly want him on as many rosters as I can get at his current price. I can get him for 212 or something like that in this class. Like, I would probably rather do that than pay an early first for Akers.
Darrell Henderson was scored 13 points a game last year, and that counts a bunch of games that he got injured in. He had like 6 games where he scored more than 15 fantasy points. That's a pretty good handcuff right there. Give up the 212 for him. I'd do that all day, considering that, you know, what we're drafting at 212.
I mean, I'm looking at this ADP. He is behind Kenneth Gainwell, Ronald Jones, and Khalil Herbert.
He should not be behind Khalil Herbert. That is ridiculous.
He's behind all three.
He shouldn't be behind Ronald Jones, but a lot of me won't allow myself to say that.
He shouldn't be behind Gainwell. That's the first name that he said that he shouldn't be behind.
He's behind. Yeah. He's also behind Cordero Patterson, Zamir White, Tyler Algier. Like, you're drafting Zamir White and Tyler Algier because you would hope they have like Darrell Henderson's career. When you say Shane, he's probably one of the top 4 or 5 handcuffs in the league. Like if you had to have the backup,
And he's one of the few backups that will take over the complete role.
Yep.
Right.
When healthy, which is a big caveat with him, he was absolutely a 3-down back, and good. Like not just like he's decent. He was actually good. So yeah, it's definitely a backup.
But they got Kyron Williams now.
Yeah,
Look,
right.
Kyron's fine as a deep stash if he makes the team. But yeah.
Scott, if you were a buyer of Cam Akers, how would you approach it? Would you be looking to trade, replacement level wide receiver straight up for him?
I mean, I like the idea of the tier down from running backs. I just don't know who you would necessarily insert in there to do it with. Like you could probably go Kamara, Eckler, that type, but I'm not sure what kind of plus you could get. Maybe a second on top. Could you trade Breece Hall for Cam Akers in a first? Like, could you get that kind of deal done? Maybe. Swift for Akers in a first. Like, I mean, those are aggressive, but I would be okay doing that.
Swift, Breece Hall, maybe not a 2023 first, but maybe a first.
You hit it with it's if you can get him for wide receiver 2s, wide receiver 3s straight up because someone is looking to get out of a running back because they're worried about his Achilles. They're worried about having too many running backs on their team. You can go with Bateman or Elijah Moore or Devontae Smith, like that type of offer, I think at least makes the person think. They may decline and say add a second because positional value or something, but I would be okay if I have 7 or 8 good receivers and I need a running back.
And I trade Miles Sanders in a second to get the Akers because I think I'll do that because I'm getting younger. And quite frankly, the upside's probably a lot better with Akers. And we already talked about the value that could be there. Didn't
the other night we saw someone trade Henry for Akers or Akers for Henry straight up?
Yeah, and look, if you're going to trade running backs, and we would never condone trading running back for running back. But if you're going to do it, at least you're getting younger there. And
like right now, if you had a contending team, Shane, would you just send Henry for Akers right now, sight unforeseen, just to try to hit the reset button on the youth?
Yeah, because I don't know that Akers is going to be worse than Henry this year. And I get additional years out of it.
Would you trade Chubb for Akers?
No, I'd hold Chubb.
So if you're in the Mixon, Chubb, Barkley, that range, you're wanting the plus to take Akers. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Cam Akers and the 107 or Najee Harris?
Najee.
Akers or Chase Edmonds and Brandon Ayuk?
That Brandon Ayuk is just so questionable. I'm going to hold Cam Akers here. I'm going to hold on to Cam.
Yeah, did you just come up with that one right off the cuff, Clay?
Yep.
That's one where, like, if you just gave me a little nudge on either one of the players, I could say yes because I love the process. But I would literally announce to the league, like, hey, I love the format of this deal. I just don't love the pieces that I'm getting.
Yeah,
but if you want to send me
the players.
Yeah, exactly. Superflex tight end premium. The tight end premium's 1.75. Would you rather have Cam Akers and a second or Darren Waller?
1.75. I'm going to take Darren there.
Yeah, assuming it's not like 11 or more starters, I think I would go with the tight end as a tight end advantage.
30-year-old wide receiver, 30-year-old tight end, 23-year-old running back. They both have about the same lifespan in fantasy.
Who would you rather have straight up, Tyreek Hill or Cam Akers?
Tyreek.
Man, Tyreek's just tumbling. His value's tumbling, and it's tumbling, and it's tumbling. I'm going to say Tyreek Hill, but I'd find a way to make that deal where I get Cam Akers and something else. Because of the two, Cam Akers I can see his dynasty value increasing. Tyreek Hill, it's never going to happen.